Now, when it comes to OEM integration, this is kind of a much bigger category than it ever has been. CarPlay and Android Auto falls in place, along with, source unit replacement and so on and so forth. Well, one company that has dedicated themselves to this category is ZZ2. A brand that started in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration has now evolved into a huge catalog with all kinds of goodies to get folks not only dialed into the latest features, but also technology. Today, we've got two of their specialists on, and I'm going to talk to them about where ZZ2 is going, what they're all about, and what really makes this company tick. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about ZZ2, and it starts now. And we're back. Joining us now is Tiago Sperandio, along with Steve Cope. Tiago is, of course, the vice president, and Steve is the janitor or sales manager for
either way, depends upon the day.
Thanks for joining me today, guys. The theme of the show today is OEM integration, and you guys pretty much have been dubbing as the experts in OEM integration since literally your conception. We go way back. I remember back in the day when ZZ2 first came onto the scene, and we're going to start right there because I believe our next topic, or the first topic of this conversation, is really the genesis of where ZZ2 began. And we're going to take you guys through a journey of where it started with CarPlay, Android Auto integration, all the way up to what you folks are doing now. So let's start with that, Tiago. I want to go back to that first time we ever had a conversation, right? We didn't know who each other were. I'm trying to figure why is this company called ZZ2? You're trying to figure out who this funny guy is talking about mobile electronics. And you were talking about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And to this day, this remains a very important element, right, to getting customers the features that they want. So is this still as significant as it was when you guys first started?
Yeah, so we're talking about 2019, I believe. That's when we launched ZZ2 here in US. And that was the very beginning stages of Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. A lot of people didn't know what was it. And now, finally, we're here in 2026. And I guess one of the first features that everybody comes to a dealer, they always ask, like, does it have CarPlay? Is it wired or wireless? So it became like one of the must-have features in that package to make the decision to buy the car or not.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, to this day, it still shocks me when I have friends or family buying brand new vehicles that still only feature wired CarPlay and Android Auto. So this is a big thing, right, Steve? Making it not only getting Apple CarPlay into your vehicle, but also going that transition from being wired to wireless, right? And I mean, that's the whole thing right now, isn't it?
That's huge right now because people, they're getting tired of having to sit down in their car and plug their phone in or unplug their phone. They get out of it or they leave it plugged in and get out of their car and leave their phone behind. It becomes a little frustrating for them. Where's my phone? Is it in my car? Don't know. But with wireless CarPlay, you put it in your pocket, you put it in your purse, you put it in your jacket, wherever you got to store it, and you're good.
And on top of that, some people like myself, I like to charge my phone all night long. So when I go to the car, I don't want to plug my phone anymore because, I'm kind of old, 42, not that old, but a little bit.
God, are you kidding me?
So I still have that mindset of that if it is full, you cannot charge anymore.
Okay, well, that's one way to put it. The other thing I hear us talk about of how integral or how important, wireless CarPlay. At the end of the day, we're lazy, right? The less things we need to do to get to where we need to get done is an important thing. And wireless Android Auto CarPlay gets us there. Now that we've established this, I've got a whole bunch of questions. This is going to be questions that I'm interested in, also questions that we get from dealers that we want to ask you guys now that we have you on screen. Apple CarPlay, wireless, and Android Auto. There are, no word to lie, hundreds of ads that I see on social media, Amazon, so many different brands that I'm not aware of, selling me this small little box that I plug into my car that gives me exactly what you guys are saying you guys are doing. So now here's your opportunity to tell me, what is it in your expertise, now that you guys are one of the first ones to do this, what's changed and what's different about the offering that you currently have? I'm going to go Tiago with this.
So I think, first of all, Ben, we need to educate our end user because a lot of guys call here. They say like, oh, 2015 vehicle. Can I use one of those USB devices to give CarPlay, Android Auto? And of course, the answer is no, because they don't understand that older cars with older technology, it requires much more than that. We need to actually input something new to the OEM system. And that's the biggest difference. On the newer cars, which they have wired CarPlay, now they can convert into wireless using one of the USB dongle devices that we also provide. But again, I guess the biggest challenge for us is to make this noticeable to all the customers out there, because people that have older cars, they don't think that it's possible to add something new to their car. They think that they need to buy a new car. And we know now with the economy, a little up and down, people that are holding their car for a longer time. So now if we educate people that they can have this feature that your neighbor has on a brand new car into their car, that will be much easier. And of course, sales will go up, in terms of profit for ZZ2. And I think that's the biggest challenge, educating people that the technology is available and they can have in their car that they have right now.
There's two things I want to go to with that statement. The first thing is, everybody believes that it's one box, whether it was 5 years ago or today, it'll work with any vehicle. I learned this firsthand, that this is not the case. And I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going back to Steve. Steve, you and I hung out in Toronto at CMA Expo. And I came to you with the problem. I said, hey, listen, Steve, I got this vehicle. I had an older generation unit. I plugged it in and it did not work. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Did I break it? What's going on? The lesson learned here was what, Steve?
Well, that, newer technology requires newer hardware. Everything's evolving. I mean, something you bought 6 months ago was not up to date, it will be today. So you have to keep moving forward, which we do here at ZZ2, keep evolving our product to make sure that we're current with the local tech and that's in these cars or in motorcycles or boats or wherever the application is being presented.
And I love that you said that, because my second point, I can't speak to all these brands that I see online, trying to force feed me their cheap solution. Here's what I know. For a company like ZZ2 to be able to keep up with the newer vehicles, with the technology that keeps on changing, there is an effort, engineers, resources being put towards always monitoring what is out there as far as the type of vehicles that are coming into retailer stores. One thing I will tell you personally, you guys have always been on the cutting edge of this. Every video we've ever done, you're talking about testing, researching, you've got your techs on hand. So that's one thing I want dealers to know, is that, yeah, you have customers going online and buying these things, right? But if you're the specialist, you want to be able to support, or you should be supporting, a brand like ZZ2 who's putting the effort, the time, the money, the resources into ensuring that these products work in the environment and the platforms that they're designed to work into. That's what I want to say about that. Let's talk a bit about products, right? Categories, right? We're talking OEM integration. We started with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but man, you guys have evolved since then. So many different ways we can go here. I think where I want to go next is screen upgrades. I think that's a big category for you guys right now. And honestly, it was a category for me, I'll speak to Tiago on this one, that I didn't see coming. Like, I never forecasted that one day we'd be sitting here talking about screen upgrade or replacement solutions that weren't necessarily a radio, for example. So talk to us a little bit about your journey from going from Apple CarPlay products to now offering screen upgrades.
Yeah, you're funny. It's funny you're asking this question, because we just had a car not too long ago that came, they searched for ZZ2 and integrations. They call us. It was local. It came over here with it was a brand new, but it looked brand new car, 2016 3 Series. And everything was perfect. But the screen, there was a big black dot on the center of the screen. And he wanted to do the integration. It's like, oh, if you do the integration, can we have CarPlay image on the screen? And I was explaining to him that it was impossible, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then I showed the upgrade, the display, the screen replacement. And that was like he was like very happy to have an opportunity to upgrade the size of the screen and have all the factory information without the big hole right there, the black dot on the center. So it opened up a brand new opportunity for our customers and for the end user. For now, like I said before, now they can upgrade their system, have something nicer, and they will see where the money is going towards, right? Because the integration, everything is behind the scenes. So with the screen, you upgrade the size of the screen, and now you have a much better resolution and have all the features that you want.
Again, I'm going back to the first time you called me up and say, hey, man, what do you think of this product? You asked me. And I didn't understand it at first. I go, wait, what exactly are we changing here? And then once we got into it, we start to realize, hold on, this type of category is a brand new category. Up until now, or just very recently, there was no option to just simply upgrade the screen. So again, new category. For me, that means innovation. But Steve, talk to us a little bit about what are some of the popular platforms that dealers need to know about that has really found success with screen replacement?
Well, I mean, the BMW was the one we launched the first, and that 3 Series, 4 Series, X5, X6 in the MBT, so pretty much 2013 to 2017, that thing took off like a rocket ship. And then we rolled out Mercedes, and Mercedes, same thing. People just kept coming to it because automakers are putting bigger screens in the brand new cars. Mm-hmm. And like Thiago spoke about earlier, people are keeping their cars longer. So these people are buying these screen replacements because it's a beautiful 10.2-inch screen, which upgrades their vehicle. Their vehicle might be 10 years old, but they can put a screen replacement in it and get the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, and all the great features, and make their car look almost brand new. And then here in February, we rolled out the Audi. I mean, and it's going on the same path as the BMW and Mercedes have been. I mean, it's something that we knew was going to be a big seller, but I think we underestimated how much of a seller it was going to be.
I'm going to speak on behalf of dealers when I ask the following 2 questions, because I want you guys to answer this as clearly as possible. You mentioned BMW, you mentioned Audi, Mercedes, right? These are higher end, more luxury type vehicles. So 2 concerns that I would have immediately. Number 1, is the fit and finish going to match the luxury fit and finish that I'm going to get from these type of vehicles? That's number 1. And number 2, what about functionality? Am I going to lose anything? Because there's nothing a customer wants to hear worse than I have to sacrifice something to gain something else. Thiago.
Yeah, so basically we're not losing any features. So you're keeping all the factory functions. We're keeping the factory rear camera. You can add front view camera in most of the models. You can use your iDrive knob on BMW or Audi or whatever knob that you have on the center console on the radio to control it. You gain the touchscreen commands on CarPlay side or Android Auto side. So you're not losing any feature. And the finish, it's just like factory. There's no gaps, there's no cutting, there's no modifications to the dash. So everything that comes in the box is ready to be installed. You don't have to order extra parts, extra cables. You don't have to cut any part of the dash. So it's very, very OEM. And it's very good to say this. On an OEM side, you usually, if you're upgrading from the 6.5 to a 10 or a 12-inch screen, of course, it's going to have a portion of the screen that you're going to have to either stretch the OEM graphics, which will look a little weird, but we also keep that part with a logo of the brand of the vehicle. So it retains like the OEM look. So you don't look some awkward, information that doesn't match with the car. So that's something very different that we do from the other companies out there.
And that's important because, again, owners of these type of vehicles are going to be picky about this kind of stuff. Let's be honest. And that's exactly what it is. Hey, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to the boys from ZZ2. We've got Thiago and Steve. We're talking OEM integration. After the break, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about the future of where this is going and who's the customer and why are you not selling ZZ2? We'll be right back.
Hey, Paul with SiriusXM here. And with 3 easy steps, you can maximize your business. Number 1, make sure you have the current promotional material up. Understand the offer? Make sure your team knows it. 2, have a unit on display. Set the presets to different genres so you can recommend and play the music that your customer listens to. And number 3, think about this. Most vehicles you're replacing the head unit with already has a SiriusXM tuner in it. So adding it just requires an antenna adapter, a SiriusXM tuner. It's a 30-second install and you're done. So there it is, guys. 3 easy steps to maximize every sale this season with SiriusXM.
All right, and we're back. Before the break, we really took a deep dive into, a little bit of the history of ZZ2 and where you guys are at today. Specifically today, we're going to focus in on the OEM integration side. We talked about CarPlay, Android Auto, and we're talking about screen replacement. I want to stay on that because that is a very interesting, big category that we get a lot of comments about. All right, let's talk real deal here, right? You guys having a great product. You're finding great success. You got good applications, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, so on, and it continues to grow. Let's talk business for a second, right? I'm a dealer. Here's the reality. The reality is if I go online and I Google screen replacement, there's a lot of options that come up. And a lot of them may not be your brand, right? In fact, There are brands that nobody's ever heard of. In fact, some of them don't even have brands, right? They're targeting you because you put in a specific model of a car and you said screen, and boom, you get this ad, or you're on Amazon or whatever else. So my question, how are dealers to respond to customers that are going to these, other brands or these no-name brands saying that they want to come in and install them? How do you equip your dealers to combat these sales? Tiago, I'll start with you.
So Ben, to answer this question, I'll start showing an Amazon product in one of our displays.
Oh, you actually have an Amazon product with you?
So
I love it.
I would say competitor. I'm not gonna say names over here, but you see over there, the glare.
Uh-huh.
So now I'll show the ZZ2 display.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
What's happening there? What are we looking at?
We do use the anti-glare protection on all of our screens.
Okay.
So those are the little details that makes the display from ZZ2 much better, a high-end product compared to the other products out there.
I'd like to elaborate on that one. One thing is that, so you're buying this off of Amazon. You have no idea where it's coming. It's probably not coming from a company here in the United States that does tech support, R&D, quality control, where here at ZZ2, we're making sure that happens. I mean, you need tech support, you can call us. You don't have to put a message in WhatsApp and wait 9, 10, 12 hours later to potentially get an answer. I mean, that's where the biggest differentiator is that you need assistance, which most of the time you might not, but if you do, it's simple as picking up a phone and dialing us here at ZZ2, and we'll take care of it. I mean, that's the number one thing. It might be cheaper, but you're 1-year warranty at best, most likely. Probably won't offer all the options that we're going to offer. And then good luck getting some assistance if you need it.
Listen, I was putting my hand up because I was like, preach it. This is, we're here at CMA. We want to support true, North American companies that support our dealer network. We cannot get through every day without the proper support. And that goes both for the consumer and the technician that is installing the product, right? You guys, you have a full tech team. You got a programming issue, an install issue, an application issue. Call them up. They will support you and make sure you get that install and setup done right. And if you're a consumer, same thing. You got an issue you don't know. I can't tell you how many times I have actually heard Tiago in real time answer somebody on how to reset their setting on their iPhone. It's done a million times. But guess what? At least with ZZ2, there's a human being telling you how to do it. All right? That's what I got to say about that. Now, what I want to focus on is where Tiago started, and what you mentioned, Steve, feature set. I love that feature that you just showed us there with the anti-glare screen. Let's talk about user experience, because something that you guys did, I want to highlight here, amidst the sea of Android-based screens out there, you guys purposely decided to go another route. So Tiago, talk to me a little bit about that.
So yeah, we do have the ZOS Linux-based software. So again, if you get one of those products, most of the solutions out there, they're Android-based. They use a third-party app to do the linking between the phone and the screen to have CarPlay or Android Auto. We do have our MFI certified chip. That means that you don't have to go to the third-party app to do this connection. Connection is better, reliable, it's solid. So you don't have to pair with the Z-Link or whatever app you're looking on your Android-based system. You go straight to Bluetooth on your phone. You look for display. You tap, follow the prompts, and you should have wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto right on the screen.
And, that is something that you wouldn't think about, but man, it is so much smoother as an experience when you're not dealing with a third party to try to connect that phone every single time you get in and out of the car. The other part. Let's talk a little bit about clutter. And, sometimes these Android screens, you have so much stuff going on. Steve, talk to us a little bit about what that experience is when you're using the ZOS that you're using.
Right. Our ZOS Linux-based system, it's a closed environment. There's not a lot of noise going on inside of it, like with some of these Android screens you have out here. Over time, there's so much, because it just keeps trying to download and download and download into the screen. It's going to wind up possibly crashing or needing to have an update, where with our ZOS Linux-based system, it's pretty smooth and simple and doesn't have a bunch of noise going into it.
Right. So the Android systems, keep in mind, you're gonna have to keep updating the system, because Android requires update every 6 months, I would say. I'm not an Android guy, but I believe every 5 to 6 months you have to keep up with their software. With the Linux-based, as long as you have your phone up to date, you don't have to worry about our unit. Our unit will display the latest features during CarPlay or Android Auto at all the time.
Another little fun fact with Android systems, a lot of the times what I've seen in these products is, which version of Android are you running? There's so many different versions, and sometimes they sell like the latest version is better than the older, and sometimes that's not true because sometimes the newer version is not as stable as the. Anyways, I'm just saying there's a lot more complications to that route, and I like the simplicity of Linux. At the end of the day, we're not trying to play video games in our car. We want to get in and out, get our features going, keep it clean, keep it seamless, keep it factory feeling. I believe that's what you have successfully done. So very, very cool. Last part of our conversation, fellas. Again, we're talking to dealers here, and I really want to make sure I'm the voice of the dealer. What is the future for ZZ2? You guys have obviously put a lot of investment and focus into certain categories. You guys want to be, that OEM integration partner and supplier, right? You want to be on the cutting edge. Where do you see ZZ2 going 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now, Thiago?
So Ben, there are a lot of things going on the back of a ZZ2 here. We have a lot of great projects. One of the things that Aston Martin and BMW just released not too long ago is the integration of CarPlay in the cluster. So I cannot say much about it, but we are going to be touching that part of the segment that nobody has the technology to do it very soon. And also ZWAGs.
We're continuing to expand upon the ZWAGs. I mean, we talked about it. It's been a phenomenal category for us, and we're just growing and growing and growing. We're getting more involved with the municipalities, the government.
I'm going to cut you off real quick, Steve, because we didn't get a big chance to talk about ZWAGs, but I want to mention, check out CMA Networks. We've done lots of videos about ZWAGs, unique lighting, emergency solution, plug and play, taps right in, strobes all your factory lights. It's almost a whole different category on its own that ZZ2 has created.
Pretty much.
That I can definitely see expansion on the ZWAG side of things. Are there any other categories you might be peeping into moving forward that we should know about?
We're probably going to expand our screen replacement.
That's for sure.
So we expect more applications coming down the pipe?
Absolutely. ZWAGs is going to expand. There's a really cool feature coming to ZWAGs, I think, in the near future. Little Bluetooth controllability potentially coming from your phone. Maybe not. Stay tuned for that one. It could be coming.
All right.
Maybe a little additional lighting coming along as well.
I'm gonna just let Steve keep talking because he's giving up all the goods. He's an easy cut.
I just want to put that carrot out there for people to wait for it to drop, and when it drops, they're gonna be like, "Shoot, I want that." All
right. We're going to close this out. I'm going to give Thiago one final word here. Thiago, you're the vice president of this fast-growing company, ZZ2. What message do you have for potential dealers out there that haven't connected with you, that haven't experienced the products that you offered? What message do you have for them?
Look, Ben, if I have to say something, first of all, I have to thank all our dealerships because our business just in a growing year after year, and we're very happy to have their support. And again, we are more than happy. I'm going to talk, behalf of the whole team here. We have a huge team, and we are trying our best every day to make our customers happy. And for the ones that never use ZZ2, are using a competitor product, give us a chance. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to love the product, guys are going to love the support, and we will be here for you guys at all the time.
That's a wrap. Hey, thank you, Thiago. Thank you, Steve, for joining us today on Connected. Again, ZZ2. Integration experts. Make sure you check them out at ZZ2.com. This has been CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.